Welcome back, everyone, to the Complete Pineleaf, where we're here in Ikadwial, taking a break from the Dead City for the moment, and it looks like Mithrandir wishes to speak with us.
I will tell both you and Prince Faramir what I have learned.
Let us not delay. I will tell you both what I've learned if you and he have the time and interest to listen. Alright, let's go and listen to about this.
These are the halls of memory, where the words of Voin give shape to deeds from long ago. Hold your questions, Faramir.
He doesn't seem to appreciate Faramir at the moment. When last we left Voin and his companions, they adventured in the Grey Mountains. Let us turn our attention to the arid Mithrin and pick up the thread of that tale. Alright? It seems every new discovery leads to further questions. From you, from me, or from Faramir? I guess you don't want to hear that question. I wondered what else might we learn from the words of Voin. Well, I suppose we should go and find out. This way, that way, the mazy way, as we wend our way through the story. Here we are. He just likes to pop up ahead of me. Well, I suppose it's his book. For 3 years, Voin and his new companions adventured the length and breadth of the Grey Mountains and the northern reaches of the Misty Mountains, hunting down the remaining vestiges of Ogmar and bringing battle to the evils dwelling in Gundabad. Never did they know defeat, and their triumphs emboldened Prince Eärnur. He remembered a promise he had made years before. Intent on seeing it fulfilled, he invited his companions to make the southward journey to his home, to Gondor. They would stay for a time in Minas Anor, as this city was then called, to plan the occasion of their next victories. Alright? The evils that lurked in Gundabad. The words of Voin. Okay, drew us forward. Okay, these are the evils that looked in Gundabad must have rejoiced to see them lead. Yeah, I suppose anything living in Gundabad at the time would have preferred that such heroes would not be in their vicinity. I guess they weren't happy when the player characters all got there and started to really smash them to bits. Voin does not record the name of the tavern. Might have been the Merry Swan. It looks like he chose the Merry Swan in his decorations in mind. Does this tavern exist only a thousand years ago? Interesting question. Yes, I believe it may have been the Merry Swan. Gandalf muses, stroking his beard. Another round! Only one more? I'd say give us 2 at once. My throat is parched. The Southlands are dry, and I have a great thirst. Then we have spared more tales of your lost city? That seems unlikely, Makionis. Ha! So it does! The harps sing loud, the fires burn low! Enough, my friend. I think we all know the song by now. I did not call you here just for the drinking. You didn't? Not only for drinking, Syl. Then what? I know of Halanan, the survivor of the Durthland. Aye? We do? He survives no longer. He died in his sleep 2 moons ago. Well, I know nothing of him, Old, was he? What did he survive? Oh, that was a long story. Thrice 10 years ago, Halanan served in the fortress of Durthad, the Black Shield. The fortress was taken by Ugrachor, the captain of the pit. The defenders surrendered. Ugrachor accepted their surrender and slew them anyway. All save one, Halanan. It is a sad tale, and one I fear will become all too common where Mordor is concerned. I met with Halanan some years ago, and promised to enact his vengeance upon Ugrachor. I will slay the captain of the pit, and retake Durthand. That's what I told him, but there was never a good opportunity, and now Halanan is dead. What will I say to his sons if I never make good on my promise? You can make certain to never cross their path. I jest! Durthan, you say? When do we leave? Dwarf attitude, that's for sure. Alright, so they decided to go to Durthan. The plans were made, and they were kept secret from all but Eärnur's band. Even his father, the king, did not know what they intended. Voin says this of their departure: pleasant weather, few clouds, warm, but not uncomfortable. Left the city without incident. Silmatar thinks so highly of our chances that he believes the prince will have made king upon our successful return. It was not to be, Pineleaf. Oh, it wasn't to be? If indeed they met the Merry Swan, they should have left all traces of merriment behind them. Alright. But they did not. To their prince and his friends it seemed almost a holiday. Going to Durthad. It beggars belief that they thought it would be easy. Well, we are talking about Eärnur here, right? I can read the admonitions of Voin's words, born from late wisdom, too late. It was reluctance that he draws on upon to Durthang. Alright, let's go. Well, assuming I could find my way through this black on black area here with a dash of purple here and there. The fine weather of our departure did not last, Gandalf reads solemnly. The experience in Mordor was bleak. To hear Voin tell it, nothing went right to them once they passed into that land. Oh, go figure. The fortress that was once called Durthan became the far more inhospitable with its transformation into Durthley. It was more well defended than the adventurers expected, and they faced strong opposition from the very beginning. Silmathar soon changed his opinion of their fortunes, receiving a leg wound that caused him a great deal of pain and put a limp into his step. They found no sign of Ugrachor within the fortress, and as their dream of slaying the captain of the pit faded, tempers on the French fellowship ran hot. Eärnur dulled his sword on the thick hide of a mountain troll, and with each combat the blade weakened further. At last it snapped, and the Prince of Gondor was left weaponless. You cannot continue without a sword, my prince. Wield mine in place of yours. But that would leave you weaponless, and we need your blade skill. No, I'll find something else. No, this will do. Haha. An orc blade? That's a poor substitute. It will have to do. Yeah. Alright, so now he has an orc blade. And he no longer has a Gondorian weapon. The adventurers knew they could not reclaim the fortress without first slaying Ugrahor, but for as long as he eluded them, Dirtling would remain the property of Mordor. Their spirits low, they resolved to leave. And that, boy tells me, is when they felt a new presence upon the battlements. Oh? What is that? An apparition. It approaches. Leave it be. We had best get out of here. Oh, the Stonemaiden. Wait. I know this presence. Uridani. Moggle dear, we cannot stay. How can this be? How are you so changed? Probably not a good question to ask her. Marigold, I hear orcs approaching. I had hoped that you would abandon Mordor. What happened to you? Is this really a time for a chat and to catch up? I mean, she wasn't happy the last time you saw her. Muggle dear! Knights of Gondor, to me! Now you will die, witch! No, she won't. Yeah. The creature is gone. Fool elf, what were you thinking? Ah, Loin, you are right. It was a deception. I was foolish to believe it. Erner, he will not last. The orcs are getting closer. It sounds like a lot of them. Hurry and lift him up. We have to go. No, Erner. These wounds are my last. I can feel it. Listen to me, Erner. Take my sword. Wield Orthadel and defeat evil. I will, my friend. I will. Now go. Moggle dear. Voin, I expect the far. Being in the middle of saying the Fargathal in your dying words is strange. We have to go. This place is not safe. An understatement. Most definitely an understatement. And so the survivors of Erner's band returned to Minas Anor, defeated and mourning the loss of their friend. Silmahar's hope, as they set forth, did not come to pass. Indeed, King Erner was more wroth than they had ever seen him, and he forbade his son from leaving the city without his consent. To Voin's eyes, the prince was made a prisoner, and every day the flame of Erner's rage grew hotter and hotter still. Erner met with Voin and his knights in secret to weave an elaborate plots of revenge against those that he blamed for the death of Margoldir, Uridani Stonemaiden for the deed itself, and Ugakor for the absence at Durthang. If he had stood there, Voink writes, the whole adventure would have gone differently. The prince is sure of it. Gandalf strokes his beard. I see in this account much that is familiar, Pineleaf. No, not the deeds themselves, for I never seen any record of this doomed expedition to reclaim Durthang in the text of Gondor. What I find familiar is the description of Erner, son of the king of Ernel II. Even the known records of his disposition describe Erner in life as bold, brash, and reckless. I wonder if he remained so as Mordred, and now as Gothmog. That is enough for now, my friend. And Faramir, I trust that you paid attention as well. These are matters that concern you closely, for this foe now lurks upon the very edge of your lands, and in a city that will demand your protection and that of your king once it is retaken. Oh, wonderful. Quite a story, isn't it?
That is quite a tale.
One day you'll need to tell me where you found this curious tome, Pineleaf. The sigil on it cannot be mistaken for anything save the Eye of Sauron, which marks it as an artifact of evil. How then came it to tell the tale of King Erner? Nay, not even so, for he was not yet a king. But still, little was recorded of the years before he followed his father Ernel to the throne. To find such an account in a book bearing the mark of Mordor is troubling to me. Look, the entire story of King Erner is troubling to me, if you ask me, considering what happened to him eventually. But Erner's doomed adventure into the citadel, now called Durthang, has brought to mind a recent conversation. Baragon spoke to me of someone with an interest in that place. Speak to my captain and ask him what's happened to the man with the shield. A man of Ithilien he was, but I confess that I don't know his name. He was here in the camp, but I have not seen him since I returned. Man with the shield. I have a feeling I know who that's going to be. Hello, Baragon. How are you liking your new post?
The man with the shield? Aye, I remember him.
I did not much like the look of this man, though. Not really.
What did he name himself? Arnoth, I think he was called.
Arnoth, yes. Arnoth carried a broken shield around with him, and it seemed to me that he repaired it as best he could with leather straps. The thing was barely holding together, and looked as if it would fall apart at the first blow of an enemy's weapon. That's irresponsible. Yeah, unfortunately, he has a very strong sentiment with that shield. I set Arnoth to conducting an inventory of the rations and water of the camp, but he has not reported back to me. Go find him, will you? He should be somewhere in the tent to the northwest, among the crates. You said he should be. Something about that word makes me wonder. You said northwest amongst the crates? Dagorus catches my eye. Oh, hello.
Our work is never done, is it?
Yes. I would not have it any other way, my friend, and I suspect neither would you. But you're here seeking the Ithilien ranger with the broken shield? I wondered why he carried it around with him, but I didn't ask. He seemed particularly interested in the map on the table over there, just to the west. I have a feeling it has something to do with Ugrachor. Oh, wonderful. Ugrachor, just such a nice person, isn't he? You say on the table? Ah. Here you go. This table. Eckhart Wheel map table. Alright, let's see what's here. Anna's dagger is embedded in the map, marking a location northwest of Minas Morgul. Well, where'd he go this time? Guess we're going to have to find out. Now, why did he come to Kirith Ungol? I've got no idea. Hello there, Arnoth.
I see that Hundalar has not yet sunk a dagger in your back.
Yes, it's good to see you, my friend, for it means that the Kundalar you brought out of Gorgoroth has not yet put a dagger in your back. I urge you now as I urged you then. Keep Eorzen the wily at arm's length, for he cannot be trusted. Yes. I was sent to ask why you failed to finish up an inventory. Oh, you make your point sharply, and it does wound me. I do feel badly about shirking my duty, but I had little choice in the matter. I overheard from one of the scouts that Ugrachor himself had been seen west of Kirith Ungol. I have not given up my quest for avenge the Thardrim Pineleaf. I will make the captain of the pit pay for the crimes against him, though they be 1,000 years distant. Let Ugrachor fear the descendant of the Haladon that survived. I will let no other task hinder me from my vengeance. But it seems that the reports were false. He had not come this way himself, so far as I have seen, though the orcs stalk amongst the crags. Will you search for some sign of him, the path to the northeast? Then I'll return to my duties. I'll see if I could find some sign of Ugrachor. Really? Now, where's the best place for me to go? What's that up there? A mangled orc. The dead orc bears Ugrachor's symbol and carries a report for his master. Well then, let's go and speak to Arnoth on this. What does this missive say? Ugrachor, the tunnels are still crawling with spiders, and the spider folk seek them out. Half, or more than half, are slain by the very creatures that they worship. The passage is not safe, but my boys have not seen any sign of her. Not since we came down this way. We did not venture very deeply inside, and saw no sign of any but spider folk making the attempt. If Gothmog has found a weapon to use against the spider folk and their mistress, he keeps it to himself in the tower. I will send this report back to you with the runner. None of us want to stay here any longer. Right. Well, I can understand why they're reluctant to stay near.
What does Ugrachor's captain have to say to his master?
These words are full of fear, Pineleaf. It seems that the masters of Mordor have more worries than King Alessar or Prince Faramir alone, or indeed the two of us. They fear the treachery of their allies. Listen, if Gothmog has found a weapon to use against the spider folk and their mistress, he keeps them to himself and in his tower. The promise of such weapons will surely draw Ugrachor to Minas Morgul. Let us be grateful that the Ungolidae did not slay every member of the orc raiding party, for word of this should still reach the captain of the pit through the survivors of that band. He will come for Gothmog and for his weapon, and I will be ready. the Thandrim will be avenged. You should bring this report back to the camp. Tell them what we have learned and that Ugrikor knows Fanas Gus is close to him. Instead, he sent small raiding parties into Imlad Morgul by way of Torakungul, as I suspected. Hello there, Mithrandir. I found this missive on one of Ugrkor's orcs. Alnos shirks one duty and seeks to avoid punishment by providing useful tidings. I have seen it before, but I am not his commander, and it is not my place to levy judgment. But I would caution him against pursuing vengeance with such a single-minded purpose. He would not be the first to make such mistakes, nor I fear the last. Something tells me that Aerner is one of the people that you're thinking about for this. But this report does help me piece together some of what I believe Gothmog has been up to while we were occupied with other matters.
After the defeat of his armies at Pelennor, Gothmog fled to Imlad Morgul.
Gothmog had fled to Imlad Morgul. What else does he have to say about this? We have to find that out in the next episode of The Complete Pineleaf.